Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome back. Palworld is releasing tomorrow as of the time I'm putting this video live, and as the guy that covers all things monster taming, including franchises like Digimon, Dragon Quest Monsters, Pokemon, Nexomon, Coromon, and of course Palworld ever since its first initial reveal trailer, I know I have a lot of viewers that are extensively hyped for this game. However, Palworld is a completely different game from the other games I just mentioned. This isn't a, oh, Palworld is better because it does this type video. No. It's just the fact that a lot of people have been peddling this as sort of a Pokemon-esque or Breath of the Wild styled game, when realistically this is a survival game more similar to games like Ark. As of such, I wanted to put a video together for you guys that are entering the survival scene for the first time, because I know it is a lot of you guys, and let me just say, I got the game early. You've seen my review most likely, but this was also my first time really delving into a survival game. Granted, I played with some settings that made it more conducive to a standardized Let's Play format, and that appealed to me more as a monster taming fan, but you guys get the gist of what I'm saying here. Anyways, all of that being said, I think that some people might be shell-shocked if they're expecting a story-driven experience or something that doesn't involve all of what a survival game entails. This is why I wanted to put out a video which essentially is a beginner's guide on how to play Palworld. This isn't going to be a guide on how to get OP or what the best strategies are or anything like that. I have a lot of those videos already pre-planned and ready to go, but instead this is essentially going to be a guide on how to get into the gameplay loop. Okay, so to start things off, you're going to pick your difficulty setting upon creating your world. This is essentially going to decide how grindy the game is. Easy is for those who are monster taming enthusiasts and aren't really into survival games and just want to jump into the action as quick as possible. Normal settings are for those that have played survival games before and will give you a similar experience. And then you got hard for the super hardcore players that don't mind spending countless hours grinding for resources. We discussed all of this in our video going over which difficulty is for you, linked below, but essentially this is going to heavily decide the pace of the game. You also have a ton of custom settings which you could utilize as well in order to create a tailored experience for yourself, so keep that in mind as well, because utilizing these custom settings will allow you to have modes that are even easier than easy or even harder than hard. Anyways, when you jump into the world, you are essentially going to be half naked with nothing. No monsters, no items, just your fist in a wide open environment where pals are roaming the land. In order to get started, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your fist to essentially cut trees or just pick up some wood. From there you can craft your first workbench and slowly snowball your inventory from there. The game is actually going to hold your hand a little bit, not in the annoying cutscene sense, but instead through the mission prompts on the screen. As you gain XP and level up, you'll earn technology points, which will allow you to make even more recipes for crafting other materials like pal spheres and better items for your base, which you will be creating early on. Palworld consists of this main gameplay loop. You find a spot where you want to build your base, preferably a spot that has a lot of trees and rocks and stuff so your pals can extract resources for you, and then you can start to explore the world, capturing pals, bringing them back to your base and building it from there. The base itself will have this computer which will showcase various missions for you in order to increase that base's level. As you complete these missions, which generally consist of building specific things like various workbenches, conveyor belts, etc., you will have access to even more pals at your base, further strengthening it, and even will get the ability to create multiple bases. There are several things that pals can do on the base, as mentioned. Some of them can cut down trees and break stones for you, others can transport these fallen items into storage boxes, some can help harvest, others can water plants, etc. This isn't a game where you just bum rush all of the main objectives, but instead, once again, is a survival game where you have to focus on staying alive. Depending on your settings, your pals might get hungry very quickly, so you will have to make sure you're feeding them in a consistent fashion and feed yourself as well. Once you've strengthened your core team enough, you can tackle the towers, which are basically the main story bosses, if you will. Through exploration, you'll also find settlements, mini-bosses, cave dungeons, and more, but really, the world is your oyster, and you have to scavenge and craft for yourself in order to survive in it. I know to a lot of fans of survival games, this might sound like it's super obvious and consists of very basic knowledge, but like I stated at the beginning, I have a lot of fans here on this channel who have not played survival games before and have no idea what to expect when diving into Palworld. A lot of the Palworld trailers showcase a ton of the most exciting moments within the game, including scenes where you're shooting machine guns and battling these crazy monsters with tons of ammo and everything, but in reality, this stuff is definitely in the game, but you'll have to work up to that point. You're not going to just have a gun off the bat. You're going to have to start by creating very basic weapons, Eventually you'll get a bow, then a crossbow, then maybe you'll get a musket, and eventually you'll be able to make your way up to stuff like the assault rifle. The same goes for your pals. Certain pals can have special weapons attached to themselves, and you're going to have to continue to level up and earn technology points in order to unlock them. You'll then need to scavenge for the needed materials in order to create said item for your pal to use. You'll also get the ability to make multiple bases as well, like I mentioned, which you're also going to want to set up in such a way that the pals are self-sufficient, sort of farming for themselves, moving those items into food baskets and feeding themselves while also getting you necessary materials in order to thrive. I will have a ton of guide videos once the game is fully live and people are actually going to be able to jump in themselves. So if you're coming to this game from something like Pokemon and are very overwhelmed by the things I mentioned in this video, don't worry, I got your back. I started out my Let's Play sort of knowing what to expect, but I had to learn a lot when getting into it. So I have the knowledge to pass on to you guys. And even if you are someone who is a survival enthusiast, I'll have a ton of guides out for this game, and we'll be keeping you guys up to date on all the news. Since it is an early access title, there will be updates moving forward. That being said, if you are a fan of Palworld or you are a monster taming fan, definitely subscribe to the channel. I put out daily monster taming videos. You can check out my Twitter, Discord, Patreon, and channel memberships linked below. And special thanks to our supporters, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Candy Marunci, and Tragsoft, and we'll see you next time. Peace.